Woohoo! I think we might be live. I wonder if you can see me. I'm just having my screen share right now, but I think we are live, you guys. I hope you can see me. I'm just going to make sure we are live on the webinar page, and we are going to get this thing rolling. I had some technical difficulties. I'm just seeing. Oh, hello, Patricia. Great. Awesome. Okay, so I think we are live. I'm going to, I think for some reason, I don't know why, present to everyone. This is my first time doing a live webinar, you guys. So I see there's 4 of you on here. That is amazing. Oh, I have people sending me friend requests apparently. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining on here. I was supposed to do this yesterday, and there was technical difficulties with YouTube. And today I thought there was going to be even more technical difficulties with YouTube, but I don't know why my picture is not showing. So maybe it's also super trippy. But thank you all for joining on here. I don't know if my picture is working. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and give this amazing live training, and I hope everything works. I'll probably check the comments at the end of the webinar. And we will get going with this. Yeah, sorry, this is my first kind of live webinar, so I'm really excited to see how this is working and this is turning out. So I'm going to get started. I wish you could see me, but you can't. I am so excited because today we're going to learn all about creating content that sells and gets you noticed. And I'm going to look at the live comments, I think, after. That's what I'm going to have to do, it looks like. So if you have any questions throughout this whole webinar, please let me know, and I will answer them at the end, okay? I think just because for the use of ease, as this is my first webinar, okay? So while people are hopping on, please let me know where you're from. I know we have people from all over Europe, Canada, United States, people from Australia. So let me know in the comments box where you are located right now, because I would love to know where you are. I want to see where you all showed up. And if you're on the replay, because I'm going to be sending this out as a replay, let me know where you're from as well, because what I will do, the benefit of, I guess, you being live right now is you can ask me questions and I can answer them to you right away. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I am so excited for this, you guys. I just gave this webinar, actually this kind of talk in Chicago just recently, and I am so excited to share this with you guys today on how to create content that sells and gets you noticed online. This is one of my passions. This is one of my biggest things I love helping people do, is creating offers and helping them sell and scale up online through their content. So to kind of understand who's talking to you right now, my name is Brody Pearson. And as you can see from here, I grew up on a ranch in Alberta, Canada. I live, the closest neighbor to me is 10 minutes. The closest grocery store was 45 minutes. And to put it even to more perspective, the closest person, or not the closest person, I was the only person in my class. So in my grade 10 class. So that kind of gives you an idea of isolation. But I grew up with an amazing family. As you can see here, there's my 2 parents and 4 amazing sisters. And I just graduated from university in April with a business degree in marketing and entrepreneurship. So I love this stuff. This is my jam. But the reason I'm telling you guys this is, first off, to let you get to know me a bit better. But another thing too is, if someone like me, who kind of came from the middle of nowhere, you could say, is able to create a global brand, I believe that you can too, okay? So that is my honest belief, and I've seen it with so many people I've worked with. So if I can do this, you guys can do this too. So for those of you who kind of are just getting introduced to me, what is my business and what do I help people with? I help people, my business first started off by helping people with branding photography. So I would help people construct their personal brand and actually help them launch that brand online, okay? And I would help them create clickable images that people are super interested in and that represent who they are as a person so they can start showing up online. And so I've been able to travel all over North America and Europe and helping these entrepreneurs, over 250 of them, craft their brand. So I just wanted to show you that, because what I have found, and this is kind of how I got into this content creation, content coaching, is what I have found that I was helping people create these amazing images, this amazing personal brand, but lots struggled with, how do I actually take this and start sharing my message with more people and getting more clients online? So there's kind of a disconnect. We had this amazing visuals, but what do you actually do with them? And what I have found after a year or lots of years of studying and actually implementing with over 100 clients, the answer to that, to almost any business, is content. Content is king, okay? Content is, I believe, is one of the be-all, end-alls, especially if you're going to be operating in the online space nowadays, okay? So what I have found is I've taken my frameworks that I'm about to teach you guys today, and I've applied it to over 100 clients in the past year, and has done amazing, amazing things for them. From features in Nike commercial, my friend Charlie up here in the left, to features in Forbes. This client here, my client Elizabeth, I'll show you in a bit, was just at the Emmys with her product, to Thrive Global, to TEDx. But what I found is the reason that these amazing individuals are getting featured and getting noticed is because of the content they're sharing. So I'm just going to show you some examples. So I know this is kind of blurry because it's a screenshot, but this is my awesome client, Charlie, who's sharing his message. He used to be 2 Chainz. For those of you who are into rap, 2 Chainz, his old manager, he completely changed his life, moved to LA, and is on an amazing health journey. He's biked across America, but he's gotten featured by major people like Nike. He was just on the Nike commercial. He's featured by Gary Vaynerchuk. Here you have another amazing client, Elizabeth. There she is in the Emmys gifting suite. This is the guy off Shameless, for those of you guys who watch TV on Netflix. But she was showing her products, her amazing products, to people backstage at the Emmys. Another amazing client, Kathy, who got featured in Forbes. And my amazing client, Brooke, who makes 6 figures while traveling. So she travels the world and makes a lot of money. Another amazing client, Elise, she's a multi-millionaire. My client, Angela, who just did her first TED Talk. But I'm showing you guys this because these people are people just like you and I, but they have been able to leverage the power of content and sharing their message to be able to land them these amazing things, whatever they truly want, whatever they set their mind to, they're able to land because they know how to leverage content, leverage social platforms, and actually reach the right people, okay? So this is why I'm so passionate about content, you guys, because I've seen it with my clients I've been able to work at. Look at these amazing results, and I believe that you can apply what I'm going to teach you guys today and to make your whatever dreams you have come true. So we're gonna get into the training today. I'm so excited. Here we go. So before we even kind of get into content marketing, what is content marketing? Content marketing, by definition, is relevant, valuable, and consistent messaging aimed at a group or an audience of people, which eventually turns them into paying customer. That's how I want to go at it today, because I know a lot of you on here have a business. So how can we use this for your business? So essentially taking messaging that is relevant, it's valuable, people are interested in it, and you're consistently showing up will allow you to capture an audience of people and turn them into paying customers. Okay, so simple enough. If you guys have any questions, like I said, put them in the comments box. I believe there's a comments box to the right of you. For some reason, when I open the page, it kind of looks all whack. So I just wanted to really focus in on the content and not be distracted for you guys, okay? So ask any questions. I will come and answer them at the end of this training, okay? So first things first, we understand what content marketing is. I want you to understand, though, that before we can do anything with content marketing, you have to kind of understand kind of the 3 phases of launching a business. This can work for any kind of business, but I work in the online space, so I like to do this for the online space. I created a method called the FVS method, where you have your foundation, you get visible, and then you finally sell your offer. So this is kind of a 3 awesome steps you can use to start constructing a complex business into 3 simple steps to actually start launching and actually selling. So I'm just going to take a quick drink of water here while you can kind of start looking at this next slide and kind of reading this. So foundation, okay? Without a foundation in anything, life, a relationship, a house, a business, without a foundation, a proper foundation, it's going to crumble. So think if you don't have a proper foundation for your business, it's probably going to crumble, and it's probably not going to do that well. So if you do not have a foundation, really, this slide is amazing for you. If you do have a foundation and have a business, I really encourage you to visit this slide as well, because if you're not constantly looking back and seeing, okay, am I still solving the problem? Am I still being innovative? This is where you can kind of get lost in the dust. This is where I was able to kind of check back up my foundation, which was the personal branding world. I was solving a problem, but I wanted to solve a major problem, even bigger problem. So I got into the content. So this is how you can kind of start revising what you're doing. So some questions you want to ask yourself: what problem am I solving? What desires am I fulfilling? What is my niche? Where am I operating? Who am I selling to? Who will buy? What is my offer? What is my unfair advantage? And I know a lot of you on here, hopping on here, are asking what are our coaches or service providers. And this is where you can start asking, what is your process and methods that you're going to package up? So once you get this, and this is kind of a very deep process, but this is where you can create focus groups, ask people questions, all these different things to actually start creating a business, creating an offer, whatever it may be, that actually makes sense, that's solving a problem, fulfilling a desire or a need, so that you can actually start selling to people. Because once you create your foundation, this is super important, but once you create it, you're able to get visible. And this is probably my favorite part, if I'm being honest, getting visible, because it's all around content, getting visible on social platforms. So whether it's Instagram, Google, SEO, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, all the different things where you show up and how you leverage social platforms to reach thousands of people, hundreds and thousands of people who need to hear your message and need what you're offering, okay? So this is where you kind of decide how I'm going to leverage different social platforms. Instagram and Facebook happen to be my favorite, but how can you leverage platforms where your people are at to actually start selling your foundation, your offer, okay? How you can start showing up on social and driving traffic from social media to your business, which then will allow you to sell. Probably one of your favorite parts if you're a business owner, cash flow, getting people from awareness into actually buying, okay? And this is where an awesome prelude into what I'm going to talk about in the buyer's journey, okay? Buyer's journey, for those of you, some of you might have seen this before, those of you completely new, in the marketing world, we like to call this the buyer's journey, okay? And what it is, essentially, it's a funnel. Some of you might get scared by that word because you think it's super technical, but a funnel essentially takes people from awareness down to actually buying from you. And it can be super complicated, but I think I split it down into 3 simple steps for you. People become aware of you, people start to evaluate you, and people show you the money, okay? I'm just gonna make sure everything is still good to go. I think I have 7 viewers. I just want to see if my comments, I'm just looking in the control room. Oh crap. Okay, well, I think I'm still live. I see that. I'm just checking just to make sure. I see 7 of you are on here. Awesome. There's over 177 of people who signed up for this live training. So I'm excited for that because this is my first ever one. So hope you guys are doing good. Ask me any questions, but this is the buyer's journey. Awareness, the evaluation, and then actually show me the money. This is where we make people purchase from me. And the importance of understanding this is because how do we move a customer from awareness to evaluation to actually opening their wallet and getting out their card or whatever it may be and actually buying from you. And this is what I like to call the content world. This is my specialty. This is how I helped all those amazing people get to where they are today. And I like to call it the ACE framework. I like simple steps and processes. As you can see, the ACE framework. Okay, this is where we attract, we influence, we be intimate, and then we actually sell to our audience. So write these down. I'm going to explain each and every one of them for you. But this is how we move people through that buyer's journey from the awareness to show me the money to actually buying, okay? And these are kind of the 4 frameworks, 4 types of content, I would say, that you need to start sharing in your business with your people, okay? So first off, we want to attract an audience. How do we do this? How do we attract an audience of people who want to buy from us? I think the best way to do that is with education content. So what does this mean? This means teaching people about your processes, your methods, your why, everything that educates people around your product or your service, giving them a reason to actually buy from you. So for example, maybe you're a service provider and you, for example, I'm getting a lot of inquiries lately from people who are in real estate, mortgage brokerage, people who are coaches. But for simple example, because all of us know real estate for the most part, is someone in the real estate industry can create so much free and valuable content that's educational, that will attract people. And what I mean by this, so for example, they are selling homes to people. Maybe their niche is first-time home buyers. So what you can do is create a freebie, so maybe a PDF, a training, a blog post, Facebook media, whatever it may be, however the platform that your reader wants to read on. But you can create a freebie that people can read and get information on. So you can educate people. So what do I mean by this? So the real estate agent, you could say 7 steps or 7 things you need to know about buying your first home. I know if I'm a first-time home buyer, I'm actually looking into buying a home within the next couple of years. How do I actually start the buying process of a home? I know if I was looking for that, I would click on that piece of content. And what does it do? It exposes me to your brand, okay? Because if I can start seeing you're constantly offering value to me and you're a real estate agent, I'm probably going to start using you because I've been following your content for quite a while, or you've given me value and I know you're super transparent. So that's just a quick example of how you can start sharing your education content. Maybe you're a product, so you start sharing. I know there's some network marketers in here. Maybe you start sharing like the 5 benefits of XYZ or whatever your product is, but just educating people on how they can use it, why they should be using it, and helping them kind of understand, well, okay, this is super important for me to have in my life because they're educated on their buying. And the thing is, when you educate people on your product or your service, selling is one of the easiest things. Okay, so that's the first one in the AIS or AII, the ACE framework, AIIS framework. Okay, next we want to influence people. How do we take people from, again, I'm going to refer to that funnel. How do we take people from the awareness to actually show me the money and buy? And this is through your results content, okay? Sharing results with people that will get them to go from the evaluation to actually buying from you. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard, but there's a Cialdini. He's a guy who wrote a book on weapons of influence, and social proof is one of them. And it's proven time and time again, if something is socially proved, it's much easier and people will take action on actually purchasing or actually following through with something. So we share this with influence. It's a weapon of influence with our results content. This can be done in tons of different ways through testimonials. You can get creative, bringing people on Facebook Live. Maybe you have your reviews. You can use case studies. People love to look at where you take people and how you started with someone and where you took them. Client spotlights. And a thing I want you to really write down, and this, if you're going to take anything from the slide, what is possible for people. So you really want to start taking that results content and using and saying how someone was really at this stage in their life with this huge problem, this that they had, and with my process or with my products, I was able to transform their life, and this is where they're at today. This is what my product or service got them. So if you can start making people understand what you do, how you do it, and what transformation it offers for people, this is huge, okay? Because it makes, again, selling so much easier, and it moves people from the evaluation because it's socially proved that other people can do it. And if other people can do it, people think I can do it too. And with your processes or your products, they will be able to, okay? Next in the ACE framework, intimate content. So you guys are probably wondering, what the heck is intimate content? And it might sound silly, but it's the best word I think that I can use. And this is where you start developing your personal brand and leveraging your personal brand within your company or your brand. Because let me tell you this, at the end of the day, people do not buy from a business. There's tons of people out there doing very similar things to you. And I would say nowadays that there's some unique businesses. Everyone is unique in their own way, but this is through their personal brand. But for the most part, business is business, very similar. But how you sell people is what makes you you. How can people relate to you on a personal level? What do you love to do? How can you share with people your experience? Because they're going to be interested in that. They see you as a human being, not just a robot doing business. So I like to mix in this type of content all the time. Like I love going back to my parents' ranch. Oops, sorry. I like going back to my parents' ranch. I love hiking. So this just shows that I do things outside of business, and I share my experiences. I share struggles. I share what problems I might have, but it makes me human. It makes me relatable. So you really want to consider building out your personal brand. That's what I love to do. That's what I've done for the past 4 years and will always continue to do because I love it. I love helping people discover their personal brand and how they can work it into their business. Next type, or the next step in the ACE framework is actually selling your content. Because without sales, you don't have a business, you don't have cash flow. So you need to be selling, you need to have that offer, you need to be giving people. So what are you offering? If people don't know what you're offering, how are they going to purchase from you? What is your transformation? Why should people buy from you? Okay, if you can start putting these together and building it off your foundation, sales are going to be super easy for you. I'll tell you, because I share the attraction, I share the influence, I share the intimate content, that making sales for me, I close 95% of my sales. And most of my clients have a super high close rate because people are already educated on it. They see it gets results. They know who you are, so they know I can trust you. So selling is super easy. But if you're having troubles, you can kind of start thinking, okay, what am I offering and what am I like kind of selling? So for example, this is what I do with my personal brand photography. I offer people pre-branding work, whatever, all that kind of stuff, super, super important. But then another important part is actually creating the visuals, okay? And how do I create the visuals? So I take people and I show them with my offer, what I'm selling. I'm able to take you from this vision board of what we dream up and actually execute and make these amazing branding photos you can use everywhere that people want to click on. So I just shows you, this is my transformation. I can take something from an idea and actually put it to real life, and that's part of my offer. So people know what I'm selling and what they're going to be getting, okay? So super important, because without sales, you don't have cash flow. So we've done the ACE framework. I'm just going to exit out and just see if I have currently 6 viewers. That's awesome. I'm super excited. I was worried that even nobody was going to show up because I had to change that time. So thank you all for sticking on. I know a lot of you, the other 100 and whatever, 177 people are going to have an amazing replay. So we know what the ACE framework is: attract, influence, be intimate, and sales. Now, how do we get our content ideas? The magic, the golden question that people ask me all the time. How do you get the content ideas? Probably one of the hardest things, but today I'm going to break it down for you to make it super, super simple, okay? Here we go. how do I get my content ideas? This is what I like to call the content cluster. The content cluster is kind of a framework that you can start utilizing. You can even write this down, take a picture, whatever it may be. How can you start utilizing a content cluster to create content around an offer? And what I like to do is I have a core topic and it's based on an offer and I put it in the middle. So I'll show you a live example on the next slide, but you have a bunch of subtopics based on that ACE framework I just explained to you and how you can actually create the content with the ACE framework to drive subtopics and drive people into your offer. So what does this look like in real life? Okay, the cluster example. So I'm launching a course, an Instagram for Business course on October 15th. We start. I'm just gonna take a quick drink here. So if you have any questions, type them in the comment box. Instagram, I'm creating an Instagram for Business course. How to use hashtags, 3 steps to create engagement, how you can monetize your Instagram. So these are my subtopics around my core product or offer. But I know that these are questions because I've done research. I know these are questions people are asking, people are interested in. So I'm going to educate. I'm going to give them that influence and results. I'm going to be intimate with them and share my kind of experience with Instagram. And then I'm going to teach them how to monetize. So I know all these subtopics because people are interested in that for Instagram for Business. So that's how you can start putting an offer and putting kind of cluster ideas on the ACE framework with the ACE framework around the offer. Okay, that makes sense. So that's just a simple framework. So I know that's a framework and a lot of you will still struggle with the ideas. So how can we actually get the ideas? This is going to be a gold mine slide for you. So write this down, take a picture. Do you struggle with ideas? If yes, here we go. What are common questions people ask about your offer or your business? This is a question I ask anyone I'm working with when I do content strategies with people. This is the first question I ask them. And if they can't answer it, it's for 2 reasons. Number 1, they're not clear on their foundation problem, whatever it is that they're solving. So people don't even know what they're selling and what they're offering. So people don't even ask. Or 2, they're so clear on their foundation, they have everything lined out. And in that case, then they should be making a crap ton of sales. So if you're somewhere in the middle and people are asking you questions, that's a good thing because what you can start doing is creating content around what someone might buy from you. You can start creating content around that and the questions they're asking and actually put that in front of them before they even think they have the question. Because if they're interested in it, they're going to read. So super awesome for consumer-generated content. Another thing is, what are competitors doing? I'm going to show you how to do this. This is a foolproof way. So if there's anything you take away that's actionable today that you know that's going to give you results, the next slide I'm going to show you will be amazing. What are people talking about? Look at book reviews. What are people asking? What are people wondering about? You can look at places like Amazon for that. You can look at Quora where people have discussions. You can look on Reddit. You can even look on Facebook. Tons of different things of what people are asking. And then another one, probably my favorite and probably one of the most important is, what type of content are you inspired by? What do you get excited to share about with people? What is your product or your service or things that you like to do that you can share with people? Because if you can start creating content based on that, it's going to become the truest content from you, and it'll become off as very genuine. So you want to kind of consider those things. But for those of you who struggle with the common questions or the type of content you're inspired by or what are people talking about, here is a foolproof way on how you can research your competitors and start creating content around that. Buzumo.com. Write that down because this is a tool. I was actually, like I said, I just gave this talk in Chicago. And someone came up to me after and said, this slide I'm showing you right now is worth her ticket price and more just in that. So I was like, okay, more people, not a lot of people know about this, so more people I want to share. Buzumo.com. And like it says at the top, analyze what content performs best from any topic or competitor. And for the purpose of today, we're learning about content marketing. So I'm going to teach on the content marketing, okay? So you type in content marketing or whatever your niche is at the top here. You press go and it'll generate a report on you. You can sort by different things. I did engagements because I think it's super interesting to see what people engage on. and what's getting shared, because it's kind of proven people are already interested in it. So if I can create content around that and what people are interested in, then I know it's probably going to get pretty good traction. So, for example, how to never run out of ideas of content again. I can click on that. I can read it and get ideas from that. I can see 10 grammatical errors that damage credibility. That's part of content marketing. So maybe I do a rating piece of content talking about, or a live video about talking about how copy is super important. So there's tons of different things you can look up. For the purpose of today, I just did it short, but the possibilities are endless. Imagine if you sit down, and I really encourage this, you sit down and talk to research a competitor and see what they're doing, or see what people in your niche or in your industry are talking about. You can start crafting ideas around that. How amazing is that? Simple, super simple tool that can generate so much research and so many ideas for you. Okay, so use this tool, please, please, please. Okay, awesome. If you have any questions, let me know. So we went over the ACE framework, the attract, influence, be intimate, and sell. We went over how to kind of start structuring. We went over how to get ideas, but now how do we make this all come together? How do we make this a storybook? And this is what I like to call batching content. This is how you make it your story. This is how you put everything together around an offer and actually start selling. So what I like to do, and I do this in a spreadsheet, is I have my offer, my content title, content type, delivery, buyer journey stage, and then you can also do other things like engagement. So if you're tracking that, I actually do that. What got good engagement, what didn't. Then you go, okay, what is my offer? So like I said, I'm doing my Instagram for Business course and I'm selling right now. How am I going to create a storybook for people around my offer? And this is how I do it, okay? This is how I create my content strategy. So I have my content title. For example, here's number 1, chapter 1 in the storybook of Instagram for Business. How to monetize your Instagram. I'm educating people. So you go back, I'm attracting people because they're interesting. How do I monetize my Instagram? I'm gonna deliver it on Facebook Live. That's the platform, because I know a lot of my audience is on there. My buyer journey stage, if we go back to the funnel, they're at the awareness, okay? Chapter 2. So people are aware of like, okay, this is why I want to start utilizing Instagram, because I can monetize. Okay, now chapter 2, how my client generated $10,000 from Instagram. So this is the influence type content where I show the results. I'm going to do a case study, and this allows people to evaluate, oh, my processes and what he teaches is actually working. I'm educated about it. Wow, this is what he does. I'm currently having this pain. My Instagram isn't monetized. How do I monetize it? Wow, I can do this. So this shows you how you can create tons of different pieces of content and kind of make a chapter book essentially out of them and turn it into actually sales to your offer. So that's how you batch content. That's a quick overview on how you actually start to batch the content, okay? So if you can start doing that, if you can use the ACE framework, so if you have your foundation, you use the ACE framework, you start getting the content ideas by using that content clusters. You have the research behind it, like what I shared with you, then put it all together and you will have a magic content strategy. You'll have something that's going to be attracting people 24/7 into your business. Trust me, I've seen it work time and time again, okay? Another thing I want you to also consider is, okay, so we have that all batched together and maybe you've done a bunch of content, but I also want you to consider that you can repurpose content. So this is how it kind of works. 2016, I did 4 types of content you should be utilizing in your business to make sales. From this piece of content, so this is similar kind of to the ACE framework. From this content, I created a video. And as you can see, over 1,000 people have seen it and a lot of good engagement. 73 people really liked what I had to say. But that just shows you how you can take something that's in writing and put it into video. And now I know a lot of you are going to question, well, what if someone has already seen my content, my video? I don't want them to keep seeing my blog post. That's completely wrong, and I'll tell you why. Because if you are constantly showing up, maybe on video, then the next day on a blog post, the next day on a Facebook post, and you're talking about the same thing over and over, The riches are in the niches, if you haven't heard about that before. But if you're talking about the same thing over and over, it's going to establish you as an expert in your industry. So when a topic pops up, for example, someone's like, okay, I need a personal, someone to create images for my brand. I get referrals all the time because I've talked about it for the last 4 years or the 3 years, and people know me, and they know that because I show up on live, I show up on Facebook, I show up on Instagram, all the different ways with different repurposed content. Same with my content marketing now. I'm getting super well known for it because I'm talking about it all the time. I talk about it in video, I talk about it in a blog post. So you can take this kind of idea and repurpose it. Take an idea and repurpose it into multiple different pieces of content, which actually saves you time. So if you do a video, for example, you can get it transcribed, rev.com, rev.com, get it transcribed for $1 per minute and turn that into a blog post. Simple, no work for you done really there other than maybe a little bit of editing. You can also take that and strip the audio and make it into a podcast. You can take a niche idea and put it into a blog post. So there's tons of opportunity with repurposing. So I want you to understand that when you're batching your content, see how you can also repurpose certain content and put it together within that kind of batch content within that storybook, okay? Makes sense? Awesome. If you have any questions, write them in the comment box and I will get to them after this training is over. So some things I really want you to consider. I want you to start if you haven't already, to set goals that are measurable. So I say this for this reason. Imagine if you knew that 1,000 people, when 1,000 people go to your website, 50 of them will turn into a lead. So people who are kind of interested. But imagine taking those, if you know from those 50 leads, that 15 of them will be in customers. So this is the magic of numbers, you guys. I'm not a super analytical person, but what I will say is if you can start tracking these numbers, it creates predictability in your business. And what don't we all want that? We all want consistency, consistent cash flow month over month. So I'm just going to take a quick drink of water while you let that soak in. Now, understand that if you know that you need to get 1,000 people onto your site or wherever it may be that you're directing your traffic, you know that you need to, for example, maybe 100 people view your content and actually click through to your website on every piece of content, okay? So you know you need to make 10 pieces of content that month around a certain topic or whatever you're offering to get that 1,000 people, which will turn into 50 leads, which will then turn into 15 customers. So imagine if you knew that, and imagine if you know, okay, well, if I create 20 pieces of content, that drives 2,000 people, 100 leads, 30 people. Now you can see how you can start growing and actually scaling your business. This is how I help people grow and scale their business, by helping them create the content to drive the people, which will drive the leads, which will drive the customers. So set these goals that are measurable, okay? It's huge for your business because you can start predicting. Another thing to consider, I want you to test, and then audit. Because if you're not seeing what performs well, how are you gonna know what to start create content on? Because you have an audience, you're gonna have an audience of people. What are they interested in, and how can you leverage what they're interested in to create content? So I put some screenshots on my Instagram here to show you kind of what I'm meaning and how you compare this. So here's a picture, super catchy, the plane, the girl, the sky, super catchy. It got a lot of reach, and as you can see, more likes. I don't really care about the likes. That's a vanity metric. And it got 16 profile visits, which is pretty good for one post. But what I will say is this post, although it didn't get as much reach, it got more profile visits, which I'm highly interested in, because I can infer most likely because of the content I wrote for this. I think it was something about me speaking in Chicago. So I know people were interested in that and interested in the speaking, so it drove them to my profile. Where this one is more of a visual about, and which got more reach, but it didn't drive as many people. So imagine if I paired this type of content with that kind of visual, what it could create. So this is how I'm constantly testing. You can look on Facebook, you can look on your analytics, on your website, whatever it may be, but this is how you test, and then you can audit to see what works, and then take that and move forward with it and start creating content more on that. So the thing is, though, is what I'm going to say is you have to put out content first to be able to measure. So don't be afraid to put the content out and see what works and what doesn't, and then reframe it. Because what you can do is repurpose using ACE. Okay, and this is what I like to call adjust, combine, and expand. ACE. I really like the ACE framework apparently. But what you can do to repurpose content. So because you're testing, and you're auditing, you can adjust content that's not working. So content maybe isn't performing as well. It's for a couple of reasons probably. One, you probably don't have a catchy headline. Two, you probably have the copy isn't that good. Or three, the image is not captivating enough for people to click on. Okay, so you can adjust that and rework different types of content to make it into a better piece of content. You can also combine content. So maybe you have ideas that complement each other. So you combine that piece of content, those content pieces together, so you're able to create another piece of content that really strengthens the other points. You can also expand on ideas. Maybe you talk about a niche idea in one piece of content, but what you can do is take that niche piece of content and create another piece of content and expanding on the ideas by combining ideas within it. So those are just some ways that you can start because you are testing and you're auditing, and then this is how you can take what you already put out and you can use ACE, adjust, combine, or expand, okay? The final thing I want you to consider is never stop creating. I'm gonna get super fired up here because this is my honest, my belief. This is like my mission. You are meant on, if you're here, if you're watching this, you are meant for something. Whatever that may be, you decide, but you're meant for something and you can achieve whatever it is that you want. And I put these pictures of my amazing clients on this page because they believed and they never stopped creating. Do you think that they all started just like this and got to these places by just not doing anything or not creating? No, they were constantly creating content, constantly sharing their message with people, constantly becoming visible, and it's put them into where they are today. It's got them into the Emmys. It's got them to be a multimillionaire. It's got them to be able to be featured by Nike and Gary Vaynerchuk. It's got them on the TEDx stage. It's got them making 6 figures while traveling the world. So they're constantly creating. So if you're going to take anything from this webinar today, and as you can tell, I'm super excited. I am super passionate about this. But if you're going to take anything from this webinar today, never stop creating. That is the huge rule. There's going to be people at first who think you're crazy for what you're creating, or you might not get traction right away, but never stop creating, because once you do find what people are attracted to and what you get excited about sharing, it's going to take you to the most amazing places, whatever it is that you set your mind to, whether it's the Emmys backstage, whether it's the TED stage, whether it's a multimillionaire, or whether it's being featured by big publications, whatever it is. If you're always creating, always sharing your message, it will shine through and people will start to notice you and you can share your gifts with the world. Okay? We got that clear? If anything, take home this message. Please, please, please. So we've gone over the ACE framework, how to attract, how to influence, how to be intimate, and how to sell to people, how to organize your ideas into content clusters, how to take those subtopics and actually find ideas with research, and then how to create a storybook and actually batch them. But my challenge to you guys, you can go away from this webinar and take all this amazing information, but if you don't apply it, it's going to do nothing for you, nothing for your business. So depending on where you're at, maybe you are just starting out in your business. I want you to just really, by the end of this week, it's Sunday today. Maybe some of you are watching this on Monday, whatever day it is, evaluate yourself where you're at this week and where you want to be at next week. Maybe that's clarifying your foundation, finding out what your problem is, talking to people. What are you going to sell? What problems are you fulfilling? What desires are you fulfilling? Whatever it may be, what processes or products are you offering? If you clarify this foundation, it will allow you to do what I just explained to you in this last 40 minutes very easily. If you have a foundation, I want you to start creating a cluster around an offer. So getting those ideas and making a cluster around the offer, batch at least 3 pieces of content. So create that storybook and post your content and tag me. Share it with me in a link, whatever it may be. If you tag me in it, I will come and I will engage on it. It'll expose your content to my network. So I would do it if I were you. But this will allow you to take what I've taught you today and put it into action. Put things to action. Those who are successful, those who I showed you right here, they never stop creating and they're always in action. So they'll take what I teach them today and they'll implement it an hour later or tomorrow. You know, they put in to action fast. Okay. So we've learned all of that. Okay. And now how do we distribute it? So we know how to create the content. We know the frameworks. I just went over it with you. It can get super in depth. So I do help people with content coaching. So if you need that, reach out to me. But how do we take this content and share our message with people and distribute it? You might be thinking, okay, yeah, we can use social platforms. I'm just going to take a quick drink here. We can use social platforms, but how do we actually leverage those? Okay. And I believe one of the best way to leverage an audience is Instagram. So what did I create? I created Insta Success, the 4-week program to grow your audience and monetize your Instagram. Because I see so many people have amazing content and it's awesome and you're sharing, but how do you accelerate your growth in your business and your message? It's by using platforms like social media, Facebook and Instagram to share your message. So this is what I'm offering you guys. I'm so excited for this program. It's going to be amazing. The 4-week program to grow your audience and monetize your Instagram. So what my goal with this program is to turn your Instagram into a lead generating machine for your business. So we're going to go back to that FBS framework. We have our foundation, visibility, and selling. With our foundation, we're going to optimize our Instagram account for success. We're going to be visible by creating content you're following love. So we kind of went over part of it today, but we're going to go into more depth on like the visual part and actually creating amazing captions, all of that, and grow an audience who will actually buy from you. And then 3 is selling, how to monetize your Instagram. So what will you learn? Module 1, optimize your Instagram. So creating an amazing niche Instagram that people are going to love to follow. Crafting your bio, crafting everything. So optimizing your Instagram account for business. Number 2, I'm going to go over these super quick because I have a sales page that you can look at and it'll explain all this in depth. But module 2, create content that sells and gets you noticed. How to take pictures. I'm a brand photographer. People pay me thousands of dollars. I'm going to teach you how you can use your phone to actually create the content for your Instagram and how to edit and how to kind of create the content that actually is going to drive people to your profile. Module 3, how to grow your audience. So how to use different strategies to get your content in front of more people, using viral strategies, using engagement groups, tons of different things, shout outs, how to actually use other people's brands to leverage it and drive people to your page. Number 4, how to monetize Instagram and get people from your Instagram into a paying customer. So we're going to go into all those super in depth. We're going to have amazing bonuses. As you can see there, apps and different strategies for brands, products, and local businesses. So those are amazing bonuses. So what does it include? 4 modules packed full of learning. These are going to be super extensive. I've spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours cracking this Instagram code, and I'm able to generate thousands of dollars in my business for myself. And I've helped others do the same. And I think and I know that it'll do the same for you. So you get 4 modules packed full of learning. So it's going to be over the shoulder, teaching you step by step, 4 1-hour live calls where you can ask me anything. So I'll be going once a week live and I'll ask any question or answer any questions. It'll be on Instagram content or even selling or your business. And this will be all in a private Facebook group. So you're going to have people who are like-minded. It's going to create a community and you're all going to be going through the same things. And those 4 awesome bonuses. So people pay me $5,800 to work with me to do this. But because I'm doing it at a group program, you will only pay, if you pay in full, $547. And when you do pay in full, you get a free bonus 30-minute strategy. We can talk about anything with your businesses. Or you can do the 2 payments. If money's a little bit tight for you, 2 payments, $297 up front, and then $297 the month later after the transaction. But what I will say for you is this is my first course I'm launching, and this course is easily priced at $2,000, but I want it to be accessible to as many people as possible because I want to offer so many transformations. And I'm just super excited to teach. Money is not an issue for me, so I want to teach as many people as I can. So this allows affordability. And what I will say to people is you're going to get so much value. You're going to get long-term strategies that you can rinse and repeat over and over to make money in your business. And I know there's some of you who might be watching this and say, okay, well, I don't like doing social media. I'm going to be very generous, and because I believe that if you're not an expert in something, you should outsource it to someone. If you have someone running your social account like Instagram, I will allow you to give them access to this course, and they can join the Facebook group with me where they ask the questions, because I believe that if someone's doing it for you, that's amazing, because that's their zone of genius. Okay, so that's just something I want to say. This is not for you if you strive for the vanity metric. So if you're worried about followers, if you're worried about people, how many likes you're getting, because at the end of the day, followers do not turn into paying customers unless they're fans. So we're going to go into diving on how we can create those people into fans. If not for you, if you don't want to put in the work, and if you think this is a quick and easy way to start making money, I break it down step by step. But it takes implementation, and you have to be in it for the long term. But this is for you. I'm excited because this is probably most of you on the webinar with me and going to be watching the replay. If you're someone who has a product, service, or message that can change someone's life or business, and you need a platform to reach them, Instagram is amazing. I'll show you some results from my clients in a bit. You want to build an amazing community of fans, like I said, fans over follower, and you're in it for the long run, and you want strategies you can apply every single day that will drive sales into your business, okay? So you can do this alone, like I said, or you can learn from me who has done it. I've spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars learning from people, and I'm taking all of this experience and packaging it into something that's amazing for you. So you can be like my client, Megan, who grows her list for high ticket sales. She sells high ticket price items for thousands of dollars, and she gets 1,800 plus profile views. So 1,800 people are coming to her profile, clicking on her link, and she's growing her list and is able to sell to people because we have the tactics behind that. We have the strategy. I have another client, Shelby, all eyes on Shelby. Her post went semi-viral, landing her 8,000 profile visits in one single day. Imagine what that could do for your business. And that allowed her to get talks for major brand deals. Or you can be like my client, Jamie, who books clients directly from Instagram. She grew her audience really quickly and doubled the size for her local business and consistently generates clients for her Make a Business every single day. So like I said, you can do this alone, or you can be like my amazing clients who've taken what I've taught them and implemented and get these amazing results for their business. You can also be like Heather, who we started off with her Instagram like this. And some of you might kind of be like lost with Instagram, what to post. It's kind of all over the place. And we've turned it into something that is a client generating machine. She does live webinars like me and sells from them. And she constantly fills them out and books them out. So if you want to kind of take that and turn your Instagram into something like this, that is super awesome for client generation, this is for you. We start October 15th. I'm offering, for those of you on this webinar, an early bird incentive. So if you book within the next 48 hours, if you join this program, I will give you an additional 30-minute strategy session where we can talk about anything, and you will also be put into the private Facebook group where you can start asking me questions, okay? So super huge value if you act fast. I'm a person for fast action takers. So that's kind of my my Instagram success course, the 4-week course to monetizing and growing your Instagram. There's a link below, I know, that you can check out the sales page for it. I'm so excited for you. But to end this off, you guys, there are people who need to hear your message. Share it fearlessly. There are people who need what you're offering, your product or a service. You want to be in front of them. You are the solution to their problems. And the best way to do that is your content, and then getting a platform that you can be in front of your ideal customer or those people who need your help, those people that you can transform their lives. So there are people who need to hear your message. Share it fearlessly, okay? That is my message. Never stop creating. If you have any questions for me about this webinar, about my offer I just made you, email me, bpearsonimages@gmail.com, reach out on Instagram, Broads Images, or reach out on Facebook at Brody Pearson Images. I'm so excited for this program, you guys. It's going to transform your business, which will also transform your life, okay? So that's kind of my end of my training for today. I'm going to go into the questions because I'm going to see how I can do this because this is my first time. I see 5 of you are on. I think I might have to go to the live page to see where the questions are. So I'm sorry about this. This is my first time that I have used this. I'm just going to go here. And let me see. Sorry. I wish I could see. Not now. Okay, well, I don't know if I see anything in chat. 1 second. I'm just going to go to my pipelines. I'm going to the webinar room. And I'm going to see the live page. Sorry, stick on with me here. This isn't the first time doing this. So I think there's probably a better way, but it is what it is. I'm just going to press play on this. I'm going to mute it. Okay, I'm going to go. Awesome. Okay, hello. I'm just seeing. I always struggle with, okay, I'm awesome. Okay, here we have some awesome questions. I'm looking at it right now. I always struggle with the problem are you solving? I'm woven wall hangings and I don't know what to figure out how I'm solving a problem. Awesome question, Janelle. So welcome on. Hello, Lori. Hello, Patricia. Thank you so much for joining on. So your question, Janelle. I always struggle with the problem that you are solving. I make woven wall hangings. And I don't know how to figure out what I'm solving a problem. So let me help you reframe that, okay? Because especially for products like that are items, those can be sometimes a little harder to structure. But this is how I would structure. You are solving a problem of making a space in a home more interesting, more unique to somebody. That's how I would structure it, okay? That's how I would go about it. Because essentially people desire that. People want to come to a home that they are super excited to be in, that are super comfortable to be in. So that's how I would answer that question is start framing your product on creating, maybe you have the custom products, or maybe you just have your products that you sell all the time, but it makes a space home. It solves the problem of comfort. It makes them feel unique. So that's how I would go about that question, okay? So if you need more clarity on that, please let me know. Patricia, assuming you have your foundation and ready to start visibility, how long do you think it takes through the buyer journey to reach selling? Awesome question. Awesome question, Patricia. So my answer for that is, that's okay, no worries. My answer for that is depending on how warm your audience is. I've had people purchase from me right away, like they see my content and they want to work with me. But on the average, I say people need to see you 7 to 10 times, okay? So they need to see your content 7 to 10 times before considering buying from you. So that's how you can start creating the batching content like we talked about, and batching the content to actually starting to become visible and getting those people to see. And what the ideal thing is, you want to collect their email so that you can start kind of working them through that funnel. But depends on kind of what do you sell. If you could tell me what you sell, that'd be awesome. If you're still on, I'll just wait for that. And if there's any other questions, let me know. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just waiting for some questions, and if not, I guess you can ask these questions. Maybe you're typing. I'll give it another minute. I just want to thank you guys, honestly, so much for hopping on. This is my first live webinar. I definitely wish I could have showed my face, but I do not know. I need to figure. I Googled on the Google Hangout room. It's kind of a little bit complicated, to be honest with you. So I kind of rolled with the punches, and I don't want to be super distracting. But okay, I guess for my answer for you, Patricia, I'm nutrition for older women. Awesome. Okay, so yes, so I would say depending on the average person, they need to see your content 7 to 10 times. So if you need help with your content planning, we can do this in your Instagram course. Oh, thank you, Linda. So nutrition for older women. Okay, so what I would consider is this. Okay, how can we start creating? So you have your offer, okay, like we talked about in the content cluster. how do we start creating people to educate on why nutrition for an older woman is important? So you can do maybe something around eating. You can do something around, let me just think, something about exercising, tons of different ideas. And you could go into, like I showed you in that Bazumo.com, about how you can get content ideas. But I would say people need to see your stuff 7 to 10 times before purchasing from you. So kind of start mapping out a content journey for people to actually get exposed to your offer. And I'm guessing maybe you do. Do you do online, Patricia? If you could answer that, that would be awesome. But if I'm just going to assume for now that you do, or maybe you do it in person, similar thing. But you want to take people from education to the actual results. So the nutrition that you help with people, you can do side by side. If your people are willing to share what people have went through, that's your results. That's how you get influence. That's how you get influence. And then you also can be intimate with and sharing your journey about your fitness, why you're into fitness, why you love empowering people. 7 to 10, perfect. Yeah, awesome. So those are just how I would structure out for you. If you have troubles with that content creation, and especially for kind of creating content online, reach out to me. We can have an amazing content strategy, or join my Instagram program, because we're going to be able to teach you everything about content creation and how to reach those people. Okay, awesome. I also find when I share about myself, those posts don't get much engagement. But when I share my work, I get more likes and profile visits. Do you think people get more interested in you when you have more followers and fans? I am okay to answer this question, Janelle. I am not. The whole follower metric kills me inside. And what I will say about this is because I personally know, and I've worked with influencers who have 100,000 people following them to maybe just under 1 million, and they aren't able to create an amazing community. So what I would say is I would rather have 100 people who are following me, who love what I'm doing, who love what I'm sharing, than to have 100,000 people who I'm just another person to them. So I guess to answer one of your questions is, I believe in fans over followers, because at the end of the day, your fans are the ones who know, like, and trust you, and your fans are going to be your advocates. They're going to be the ones sharing your content, the ones who are excited to share about your successes, and the ones who are excited to share about your business. I also find when I share about myself, those posts don't get much engagement. Okay, so something that you could consider is how you can start sharing about yourself where people can learn, okay? Because at the end of the day, I like to say that people on social media are kind of greedy in a way, because they want to take something that's out of it for them. So how can you share your experiences and who you are, and weaving it into an attraction piece of content about educating them on something? Okay, so if that makes sense, let me know. But that's how you can actually start kind of weaving your personal brand with education content. So it's partly about you, but it's a lot about them too. And maybe you share that content, maybe not as frequently. I believe intimate content, but if you find that a lot of people are getting traction from your product posts, that's amazing. But you can also weave your product posts with a little bit about you into them, right? So if you can kind of start considering different ideas about how you can weave that kind of content in, if that makes sense. Is there any more questions? I love answering questions. I know a lot of the times I get questions about people getting scared to be visible. A lot of people are scared to share their message. And trust me, I was the same when I was 19. I was scared of sharing myself on social media and my gifts with people. But let me tell you, you guys, if you have a message, if you have a product, if you have a service that's amazing and that offers transformation for people, or whatever it may be, or it offers gives people feelings, whatever it may be, please share your message. Please get visible, because once you do, you'll never look back. I know for myself, for me, I wouldn't be able to travel around the world. I struggle to know what I have to offer. Okay. Can you elaborate that a bit more, Lori? I know you're in the vacation space. So if you could kind of explain to me a bit more on why do you struggle with your offer? And then I will answer for you. In the meantime, while you're typing that, I want to see how I can. Okay, I have no clue. Whatever. This is the easiest way for me to answer questions. I will need for my next live webinar. I will need to figure out how that I can share my face, and then as well as have the comments onto my side so it doesn't look so weird. But I know from you following me on Facebook, Lori, I know you offer travel to people. You're a travel agent, correct? So what do you struggle with your offer? And I'm trying to help other businesses build business with travel as opposed to just selling travel. Okay, so my question is I'm trying to build other businesses. And how am I going to help other build business with travel? Okay, so more putting on a live events for people for traveling. Is that what you're meaning? If so, I'm probably going to assume that's what it is. So you have an offer. So if you're having struggles, what have you asked people? This is what I would go back to. Have you asked people who go and do live events, who travel, what are their biggest struggles with actually putting on a live event in another country or another foreign place? Okay, yeah, retreats for coaches. So yeah, have you asked that question to 100 coaches? And if not, that's where I would start with for you. That's how you can create your offer, okay? Because what you can do is take those, you kind of create a doc, create those pain points for people. So you find out maybe they have troubles scheduling a venue. Maybe they have troubles finding bookings for people to get there. Maybe they have troubles with the local culture, anything, you know? So if you find those are problems, you can start structuring. It's called a coach approach. You take what those people are telling you and structure your offer around their pain points. That's the best way to structure an offer. So whatever it may be, whatever their pain points are, you can structure your offer. So maybe it is finding a venue that matches their personal brand, that fits within a certain vibe. So what you can say is, I can help you with your offer. I can help you create the most successful retreat for your clients. And what I will do is I have a process and a method of researching amazing venues that align with your brand, that and I will give you all the frameworks, all the organization behind it. So all you have to do is show up. And I know for me, if I ever start doing live events, I would love that, because I want to show up to a live event if I'm putting one on, and I want to show up and just have to worry about my speaking and teaching, not worrying about who I'm booking where, who, what is happening, where is it happening. So consider that. I would heavily consider that. And if you were on my webinar earlier, I would go back to the foundation page and ask yourself those questions to see how you can start structuring your offer. That makes sense. And if you have no more questions, okay. I'm just looking on here. Thanks. You betcha. Is there any other questions? I know there's probably going to be questions for any idea how I can grow a photographer? Any idea how I can grow my photography business, or rather make it a business? Yes, Linda, for sure. So first, you kind of have to understand what era you operate in. For those of you who don't know, Linda's my amazing cousin. I can't speak. She's my amazing cousin. She was actually the one who got me into photography. So I'm so thankful for her. Very thankful, because I would not be here today without her. But how can you make your photography more of a business? First, I would like to say is you kind of have to just decide where you want to be, who you want to be working with, right? As a photographer, that's something we have to decide. I know for me, I started out doing weddings. I started out doing families. I did a weddings with Linda. And after being exposed to different types of photography, like weddings are okay for me, but it's not my favorite thing to do. So that's why I got into the personal branding. So first off, you have to decide who you're working with, okay? And then from there, you want to start structuring out your offers and have it written out on, I know as a photographer and as someone who's creative, it's tough to tell people your price. It's one of the scariest things because you're going to be like, well, will they buy from me? And if they don't buy from you, that's okay. You're not meant to work together. You don't want to discount your services, what you offer to them, because what you offer to them is amazing. You help them capture memories, help them cherish memories forever. So really focus on your offer, put that on paper, and put out your offer on Facebook. Say, hey, I want to book X amount of people for this month. I currently have this many spots open. Who's in? Message me. It can be simpler. That is the hardest part for me. Trust me, I know too. I'll tell you guys a story. One of the hardest things for me in my business was actually turning it into a business. So when I first started out, I was just like a young 19-year-old. I'm like, why are people going to buy from me? So that's first. It's kind of around self-worth. So that's something you have to kind of really dig into. And that's a topic I could go into hours, but it's around owning your self-worth, owning your gifts, and knowing that there's going to be people who say no, and that's okay. You're not meant to work with each other. And that no means you're one closer to yes for people who realize your value and who want to work with you. So don't ever, ever, ever sacrifice your value. That's my first thing. But my exercise for you, if you guys are having troubles charging your worth, my exercise is build out an offer. So what do you want to offer to people? Okay, so you can, for example, so photography. I want to offer a 1-hour session. You get X amount of images with X amount of edits. They're going to be on an online thing. You write that out, put your pen to a paper. Okay, and then you look at it and say, what feels right to charge? What do I feel right about charging? And you write that number down and kind of have it pop in your head. And maybe that number is awesome for you, or maybe you want to kind of reevaluate it. So then maybe you go and do some research on what other people are offering in your industry, okay? And you can kind of use that as a benchmark. You don't have to, you can charge more, you can charge less, whatever it may be, but you want to do whatever you feel confident about. So once you find out what your pricing and what your offer is, you can kind of start mapping out, okay, well, this is what I'm getting. And you can actually kind of start seeing, this is what I'm doing for them, X, Y, Z. I'd be crazy not to charge this, because at the end of the day, I'm putting this amount of hours into it, this amount of work, this much of blood, sweat, and tears, whatever it may be. But if I'm putting this amount of time into something, this is my worth. This is I could be doing other things that I love too, and not be getting paid for that, you know? So you have to really assess that of like, okay, what am I doing? What am I offering to people? And then people will pay it. I'll tell you the story. Like, I started off charging, my first wedding for the day was $200, and I was pumped for that. Like, I was 16 years old. I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing. But as I wanted to start making a living on this, I had to analyze, okay, well, what do I need to do so I can be full-time in this? And I started off by charging $875 for a package. So I structured out my package, like I said. And I said, okay, from this, we're going to get X, Y, Z, personal branding thing, location scouting, X, Y, Z. It's going to take me this much time. It's going to offer this amazing transformation for people. Okay, I have that figured out, okay? Then I went and checked out other people's in the industry. I'm like, holy crap, I'm really undercharging. I'm really undervaluing myself. How do I kind of rework this for something that feels amazing for me to offer, that I don't feel sleazy about, but that really doesn't discount other people in the industry? Because I'll be honest with you, if you guys start discounting your products to people, and I know this is kind of a rant, but if you are kind of not a rant, but like me going off on a tangent, but if you discount yourself, you're doing a disservice not only to yourself first, but disservice to others in the industry. Because how do you expect other people to start making, if you want to make a living and are discounting constantly, how do you expect your others to make a living, right? So that's something I want you to consider. But structure out your offer, see what feels good, kind of check out what the industry, what the benchmarks are, and structure your offer from that. I went from $875 to charging thousands of dollars because I know my value. I own my value. It took 4 years to realize that. That would be me, but I'm ready to change that. Yes, Linda, and I know you can change that, and that's okay. And I've done it before too. And I'll be honest, I'll admit I used to discount myself all the time. When someone would say no, I'll be like, well, but oh, just kidding. Like, I'll offer you a 15% discount. That's not how you want to operate, because then you're always operating in scarcity. You're not and then plus another thing too is if you're offering discounts, that's taking away from your time that you could be working with other people who will pay for your services. So that's something, your discount is so very true in my industry. Yes, it's true in every industry, and it's something all of us struggle with. I've struggled with it now, but it's just a flip of a switch of writing it down on paper. When people ask what your price is, you know exactly. I have a piece of paper in my hand right now, actually, but to write down your offer and then say, this is my price, and say it with no fear. And if they say no, that's okay. There's going to be other people who want and need your service. So that's how I would say, that's a long version, Linda, of how you can grow your photography business. First off, structuring your offer, being firm on your offer, and knowing what you're worth, knowing what you charge, having that, and then saying it to people. And there's going to be people who say no, but that means you're one person closer to saying yes. So that's how I would go about making it in a business, because once you know what you're offering, you can start getting visible. Like I said, you have your foundation, you know what you're offering, you can get visible and offer that on social platforms, and then you sell, and people will say yes. People will say yes to whatever you have offered, because I have Linda on Facebook. You have an amazing audience already. It's just owning your worth, putting your offer out there, and then people messaging you and buying. Any more questions? Yes, you bet. I'm excited. Put it to action by the end of this week. I would love to see you have an offer put into place. That would be awesome. And with numbers and what people are getting from it. And make sure you own your value. Any other questions? I'll wait on here for a little bit. I love this. This is amazing. Actually, question period is probably my most favorite period, if I'm being honest. Because I can teach, but how can I help you? That's how I love serving people. It's my favorite thing, helping them grow their business. And if there's no questions within the next minute, I think I will be on my way. If there is, I'll be more happy to answer. That's so cool. People, I'm Beaver Lodge, Alberta, YYC. I know I have people who probably are in Europe right now. Some are sleeping, so I'll send them the replay. But so glad the ones who got on here live, you could attend live. Amazing. I'm trying to decide whether or not I should put this out as a pre-recorded video or one that's on the webinar. But okay, if I don't have any other questions, you guys, I think I am going to be off. I'm so glad. I hope you have an amazing Sunday. I'm so glad I could serve you. Hope you all have an amazing day. I just need to figure out how I end this video, and we will be off. Okay, how do I figure this out? Awesome. Stop sharing. And good to go. I don't know how to end this. Thanks for the great webinar. You betcha. I'm on here right now. I'm just trying to figure out how to end this webinar. I'm just chilling. Okay, this is kind of weird. Okay, how do I end this webinar, everybody? Oh, awesome. I just got a message about the webinar. Okay, I don't know how to do this. Maybe I'll just shut off my computer. Have an amazing day, you guys. Hope you're all doing great.